Okay, let's work on the SAE Baja A-arm design. We're going to be eventually coming up with this, but let's first make the sketch. So let's go over here and I'll start from scratch so you can follow along. And the first thing we want to do is to the upper right here, we want to create a V shape. And let's go ahead and use construction lines like this. And hopefully I can make that one vertical. We'll make it vertical in a moment. And the dimension for this one is going to be 13.25. And got zero back in on it here. And remember, when you're doing these dimensions, if you try to go like this or like that, you can't see the diagonal one until you click the middle to get that. Now, we don't want to put a dimension there because we want this to be a symmetric part. So let's use equals for that one and this one. And then we'll make this other one vertical. So got the vertical tool selected. Now that one's vertical. All right. And then looks like the angle is not really given, but this other dimension is. So this one is going to be 6.88. We have too many digits past the decimal, so document settings, units, and two places past the decimal. And we're just following along on this diagram. Where'd it go? Right there. Okay, so there's that. And what we want to do is maybe set up one of these to be an origin in a moment to kind of lock this coordinate down. The two dimensions missing are the X and Y coordinate of that point. But as you can see, what's going to happen here is we're going to have a line over here. And the first one, I'm going to use the midpoint. Well, doesn't look like I have a midpoint tool. So we're going to do it like this and hit escape and do another one down here. You know what? Let's just use the symmetry tool a little bit later. So we're going to take this guy here. If we can find it, it might actually be, yep. Okay, looks like I messed that one up a little bit. So what I need to do is make sure that I'm off of the construction line before I draw my line here. Make it too long so that I can more easily find the midpoint of this line and make it coincident with that. And then the size of that is going to be, let's see, looks like it's going to be 2.5 here and 1.5 there. So let's go back. For the entire length of that. And we also need one over here. He knows how I kind of make it purposefully um, not symmetric so I can more easily find those points. So I'm going to make this one shorter in order to fit on the part that connects to the wheel. We'll see that a little bit later on. And as you'll be able to see, we have a straight line here and it needs to arc over here. So these are just going to be used for construction purposes only. So we'll get the process started by going over in this direction, then grabbing a circular arc, just placing it somewhere, and then getting the process started. Now, one of the things we do know is the angle between here and there is 82.55, I think. And then also we know that this is a 3.5-inch diameter on that side. So dimension 3.5. We also need to make sure that this right here and this one here, control click, we'll make sure those are tangent. And then we want to make sure that this is coincident with the midpoint there. Let's see, what else is it missing? Is it still got just two? Yeah, so I think at this point we can say uh, that this right here, either we can set the distance right there, or we can just say that's going to be our new origin. And you can see now it's fully constrained. Then reflecting this about the horizontal line, we can use this as a horizontal reference line. We can go and make a mirror of this one this one, and that one. And we want to select the mirror line to be this. Clicking OK or apply, we have that. Now, the last thing we want to do is add a crossbar, which we're going to use for connecting the shock. So there's going to be a crossbar here in the middle, as you can see here. And it says just to use the midpoint of the 3.25 lines as a reference point for making that crossbar. So maybe just a construction line. And will it let me find the midpoint? Looks like it turned green and turned green again. Then we can say that the line that we really want to use is going to go from this piece over to that piece, but then make sure that these are collinear. Now it looks like everything's fully constrained, and we want to save this as, oops, file, save as. And the file name that they ask us to use up here is this. And we're saving this in the SAE Baja directory like that. And this is actually my version 2, so I'll just say V2 on this one. You can probably just exclude that if that's your first version. All right, I'll show you how to extrude these lines into tubes in the next video. And there's going to be 2 different methods. You will be able to pick which one you want to use, whether it be frame assembly or using a sweep tool.